maybe the map makers have been watching KCM as of late, just thinking a little bit too much Terran victory here. They're gonna go ahead and release this map to kind of right the wrongs of the past. What's going on, Brood War brothers? Here is the ASL 15 official map pool. We're gonna be taking a deep dive into some of these new maps, and especially this crazy map right here, 76. It is wild. We've got Retro, another brand new map, Dark Origin as well, and a few older maps to take a look at. We'll dive right in here. Looking at this one, 76 is insane, boys. Absolutely insane. For instance, take a look at this. We've got mineral patches directly below the main base here, your spawn point. You're gonna have minerals right here, just like in fastest possible map. For the first 56 seconds, those will remain until they disappear. You can mine with up to 10 workers on this. You're going to get to about 10 workers by the time this disappears, and then you're going to go back to mining on these regular mineral patches. So it's insane, dude. This is going to give you such a massive boost in the early game. The pro players, I don't know what they're going to do with this. I'm expecting to see some wild rush builds, some very, very heavy economic builds as well, though. And those economic builds are going to be focused on these back naturals. You have a back natural at each base, and it has 2 gases as well. Now, these 2 gases, they do not have much Vespian in them, just 3,000 each, and the mineral patches are a little bit low as well. So this base, although it does give you an insane amount of income for a short period of time, eventually that will run out, and you'll have to try and take bases around the map. These bases in the middle are kind of crazy. The 76 here, as you can see, they also have this Calderon mineral patch. Right here, you can only hop through with a worker, and after 56 seconds, this will disappear. So you can't actually get over that after those 56 seconds. This becomes basically an island, each of these bases. So you're going to see a lot of early expanding. People are going to be hopping their workers over into these different locations. Now, if you spawn at any of these bases, I've already play tested this. If you send your first worker, you can actually get all the way up to another location, another main base, and jump that mineral patch before the minerals disappear. You can also, of course, get into either of these 2. So that means players are going to have the opportunity to branch out and actually snag additional bases at different mains. This is like an island that you can get to in the first 50 seconds of the game. So that's crazy, guys. A Zerg player could potentially send out a drone, snag this base, and another drone snag this base, and have 5 gas geysers to start the game. It's crazy, boys. Absolutely crazy. We're gonna go ahead and jump in, check out each of the matchups. I'm going to give you guys my analysis, what I think is going to happen, how these games are going to go down in both the KCM and the ASL, because of course the KCM uses ASL maps as well. This is very relevant to my channel. I hope you guys enjoy it. All right, guys, here we are on 76. As you can see, it's me and Herbmon. We're doing a little bit of testing here, and the first thing you're going to see me do is just wall off the tiny little ramp here at the front. We're gonna see basically no Ling aggression on this map because there's no way to get up here, and I'm of course gonna drop a SCV over the back wall, and I'm gonna use this SCV to build a second supply depot here. You don't really have to build a second supply depot in this build, but I'm gonna get a very fast command center with this double gas in the back natural, basically for free here. Now, Herbmon, he didn't have a chance to test out this map before, so he actually didn't send a drone over to this back wall, and as you can see, the mineral patch is already gone. That means he's not going to be able to hop over, but he's going to show us something pretty darn cool here in a second, and there's actually a way to get over this wall with just 2 drones, which is pretty freaking cool. So he's gonna go ahead and take that, And I'm going to go ahead and make this wall. And this is probably how most, maybe 90% of the games on this map are going to go TVZ in the early game. All right, so this is really impressive to me because Erdman, he's never played this map before. He's kind of testing it out right now, just checking over here at the back natural, seeing what he can do. And watch this, he gets it actually on the second try here. Get 2 drones over that just by clicking on the mineral patches here. That one kind of ran away for a minute, but now he's going to hop over. And it doesn't quite work this time, I think. Drone is a little bit off here. And he's going to try one more time. And there we go. It does end up hopping over. So he's able to get this double gas base. This base, super, super important. I think most players will, instead of going for this front base, they're definitely going to go for this base before that 56-second mark. And just go ahead and grab double gas and go into a mutalist build. Now with the fact that Zerg gonna have 3 gas muta to work with, this base is going to be very, very hard to hold as Terran. Although you have those 2 gases and quite a few mineral patches, it's going to take time to also get a lot of SCVs over here just because you can't transfer between the 2 bases. And of course the same thing goes for Zerg, but this is going to be a very difficult base to hold. So you're going to see me build a ton of turrets here. And we're going to go directly into Valkyries, where I think most games are going to go on this map. So as you can see, I built a ton of Valkyries here. Anticipating a lot of mutalist pressure, but Herbman, he surprised me. He went directly into Hydras, which is actually kind of viable on this map. The Hydras can bust through here pretty well. They can also run up this ramp, but you cannot send lurkers up this ramp. So in the future on this map, I doubt we're ever going to end up seeing players trying to do some sort of lurker bust in the early game. Like 2-hatch lurker, just never going to be a thing here on this map. Maybe lurker drops could be a thing. Could put a lot of pressure onto you, but again, a lot of people are going to go for Valkyries, so that could get shut down super, super hard. Now, these bases around the map are really nice to take. Herbman, just grab one of these bases and put a couple of Hydras on this high ground, morph them into lurkers, and you have basically a free base at that point. Now, attack this base as well. The Marines and Medics can come up here, but tanks, vultures cannot go up these ramps. So going mech on this map is risky. It's very, very tough. You just can't deny bases in the back. You can't really deny these bases either. The only bases you can really stop from mining are the bases here at the front, these naturals, and also the bases back here. Of course, you can set up tanks and hit the hatchery from this location. You can also hit the gas, of course. As you can see here, lurker drops are going on at the same time as my drop over here at his extra base, and this got a ton of kills. Oh my god, how many kills do we have here? 9 and 8. Oof, that's a painful moment. Lost basically all of my SCVs while I was microing. Just showing you the power of lurker drops. Definitely they can be a thing. They can do very well. Hydra bust is going to come in here pretty soon, and I'm about to lose this game. Actually, it was closer than I thought. Not too much here for Herbman. I'm actually leading him in SCVs as well. I think my macro slipped quite a bit here in a moment, and probably I should have put this flying factory down over here and built some tanks. Also, this command center is super duper late. That's frustrating. Not a very good Terran player, guys, but this is kind of giving you guys an idea of the ways that it can go in this matchup. Basically, what I'm saying is it's going to mostly be Valkyrie play from the Terran player, defending this back natural. We're going to see a lot of gas units popping out. You can support 3 starports on 3 gases, and then that'll eventually get you onto this natural here. And Zerg's going to be taking a ton of bases around the map, just snagging them up wherever they can, and defending this back. They probably should go into Mutalists on this map, if I'm being honest. I don't know if this is the right play from Urbmon. I feel like 3 gas here. You can get into Hive, of course, and you can start doing drops with the defilers and lings and all that good stuff. But yeah, this is just a tester game, and I thought it was cool to show off. Now here is another game with me and Love Snow, actually, this time instead of Urbmon. Love Snow and Urbmon are both streamers. If you want to check out their streams, I'll put a link in the description down below. They're really cool guys. And Love Snow also never tried this map before. He was kind of shocked here with the mineral fields, as was Urbmon, but he goes ahead and plays it out like a champ regardless. I'm going to be testing this strategy here, sending out the very first drone, one of my first 4 drones across the map. I've already hopped this drone into the back of my natural, and I'm going to go ahead and get this one over just in the last few seconds. Oh, I messed it up. Oh, and I almost messed it up again, but there we go, getting it over just in the nick of time. And there you have it, guys. I have officially snagged 3 bases here. So in this game, I went for a 9 hatchery. I'm gonna get a overlord here in a second, and then continue with this spawning pool. We've got the hatchery here in the back, and I'm gonna be getting a 3rd hatchery down here, and that's gonna net me 5 gases. And as you can see, not too difficult. Even a scrub like me can get both of these drones over the wall in time, and that means that a pro player can absolutely get that done. We've got a factory out here on the map, and Love Snow shows something pretty interesting this game. A good tactic to deal with this sort of early expanding. Even though it is very, very powerful and I'm on a lot of gases, he's going to show how it's possible to sort of punish a Zerg player for this type of play. I still haven't thrown down this hatchery here because I am worried about some Marines coming up. I don't have any Lings or anything, so I just get this sunken colony, and Lings are pretty worthless here. They're not really going to do anything. Of course, there are vultures and Marines out on the map right now, but usually the Terran player is going to put a wall in here. It's very easy, just barracks right there, supply depot above, and then you've got a full wall, and Lings really can't do anything. So I didn't really want to produce any Lings. I just produced this single sunken colony that can hold off pretty much any amount of non-stim, non-medic supported Marines. So I felt like that was fine. Go ahead and throw down this 3rd, and now I'm officially on 5 gas. So here's another little quirk of this map. Look, you can't even send a vulture up this ramp. Pretty hilarious that Love Snow tried at that moment. He didn't try to go up any other ramps before that. He just got to this one and got completely cucked. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Too small for a vulture, and not able to deal any damage to me. This is insane, guys. This is so strong with this tiny ramp and a early sunken colony. It's basically going to defend you against everything. A couple of Lings also to mess up anything that happens to be running up here. Just unbelievably balanced, perfectly balanced, in fact. And we've got this other base down here. Of course, my macro slipping a little bit. It's fine. And this is where things get interesting. Yes, the factory floating over here to my back natural. He can land this and start to produce some vultures and just harass the shit out of this base. Something that I didn't account for. I don't have a Hydroden or anything like that. Maybe it would be good to get a Hydroden on this map. You might as well. You've got so much gas to work with that 5 gas. Just defending everything is the #1 priority. And that might be the way we see Zerg players who choose this strategy, pro players on this map, decide to play it out, because that seems really, really strong to me. And a great way to play. Just be super, super safe. Hold these 4 gases, excuse me, on 3 base, and profit. I'm gonna lose some drones here. Of course, sunken colony will eventually hold this off, but super, super annoying. It was a really good play to get down here with the floating factory. All right, this is where things start to get a little bit crazy. I'm already on 4 gases here. I've got a ton of mutilates. Now I really messed this up because Love Snow, he's only on 1 gas right now. He has very, very little gas, and look at this. I just flied my mutilates straight in. I don't know what I was paying attention to there. I think I was heading towards the main base, and I couldn't really see much with this Overlord, but he catches me with those 4 Valkyries. That's basically all the gas that he's mined in this game has gone into building these Valkyries, and sending over a few Scourge along with those mutas could have netted me a pretty easy win. Now he's going to be switching up into dropships. I'm still very, very far ahead here. You can just see how much gas has been mined, and I'm not even taking this this 5th gas yet, but my balancing of this economy, not the greatest, of course. Pro players can definitely do this better, what I'm doing right now. I'm even going to fly in here and try to kill these Valkyries just with straight mutas. I think there's Scourge on the way to help out, but that's not my finest moment for sure. Now here comes the first dropships. Going to be sent over in this direction. Lost a ton of Overlords. Can't actually produce, and I'm eventually going to wind up losing this game. But it just shows you the power here. Look at that gas. So much gas. I think that Love Snow played things out in a way I really wasn't expecting. I thought that he was going to take this base and kind of power up a bit more, but going for this really quick drop was pretty brilliant. It threw me off really badly. The early vulture, and then he landed here as well and started dealing damage to my my drone line. That really threw me off as well. Now all my mutas are dead over in this area, and a drop comes into the main base. This is where I end up dying, but this is again just a display here of what is possible on this map and the ways that it can be played. Of course, Brood War in any matchup, the ways that it can be played are myriad, so we're gonna see a ton of different strategies here. I just think that this is probably going to be the strongest because of the way that Zerg players have found to use their mutalists, that they can fight against Terran basically in any situation with tons of mutas. Yeah, this is not a good look. Losing a ton of mutas here. Still, I did a ton of damage to Love Snow. He's very weak at this point. I just can't get anything together. Everything's kind of fallen apart here, and eventually I will end up tapping out. So that's unfortunate. Lost my Spire as well, and I am going to give up. Getting 5 gases right off the bat, is very strong, but it can definitely be abused. Okay, here we go. Another match versus Love Snow. I wanted to take my revenge here, so I went ahead and grabbed Protoss. This is an insanely imbalanced map, in my opinion, in the Protoss versus Terran matchup, and you guys are going to see why in a second here. I was a little bit salty that I lost that map in such a that last match in such a weak way, that I really wanted to take it to Love Snow and show him who's boss, really. Here in this next match, and that, you know, the way to do that, that's definitely with Protoss. So I've gone ahead and taken a very early expansion here in the back natural, and I've got a Zealot on the ramp. That's basically all you need. One Zealot right here on the ramp, and basically nothing can touch you. Again, vultures can't actually go up this ramp, so it's only going to be Marines coming here, and if Marines come, well, I can probably pull SCV, or I can pull probes, run over here, and just beat them at the ramp, or build a couple more Zealots, whatever is necessary. Maybe if you went like 2 racks and tried to break me here, that could be a problem, but as long as I build a few Zealots, it should be fine. Building a Dragoon as well, that's just for the defense against any sort of drop play. I'm going to throw some cannons down over here as well. And as you can see, Love Snow, he's taking the front base here, and I think that this is probably going to be the way most Terran players play on this map against Protoss, because holding the back base it's going to be so frustratingly hard against Reavers and shuttle drops, because he can't actually build in all of the terrain in the back natural. Let's take a look on this area here. You can just land your Reaver all over here. None of this is buildable terrain, and slowly creep forward, killing off turrets And whatever they've got here, it's not going to be much. And mostly SCVs, and then you can eventually break that base. So it's going to be really tough to hold the back natural as the Terran player. So mostly we're going to see them take the front and hold from that area. We might see Terran players take this base. I feel like coming through and taking this base might not be the worst, because you can put some tanks here and kind of defend things, and there's turrets. You can build turrets everywhere in this base here in the middle. We'll get a shot of that a little bit later on screen. Now he's coming over here with the vultures. Of course, they can't do anything. He could potentially have landed another factory bank here and tried to build something, but I've put a pretty good amount of cannons bank here. I put 3 because you actually can't get dragoons to walk down there. You need to use a shuttle in order to defend. So that was foremost on my mind, is just making sure that that was safe and that I could pump up my probe count here in the early game and just take an early advantage. So it looks like Love Snow going to grab a base down here. I don't think this is how most players are going to play. He also went for Wraiths. I think that's a strong move. It's triple starport Wraith. That's a little bit excessive considering you're only on 1 gas. I don't know what he's thinking with that move, actually. That's a little bit crazy, but going for 3-port Wraith on 1 gas, you can see 2 of them are not even producing right here, but this is a smart move, getting a few Wraiths out, because definitely we're gonna have shuttles shutting down this back base. Like I said, super easy with shuttles and reavers. So that's the way I'm gonna go, and I think that's the way most players will end up going. I'm headed up towards, of course, carriers. Carriers are so incredibly strong on this map. It is insane. It's just insane. We've got another gas coming up here. Of course, these should be mining, but it is what it is. Definitely not a professional player, guys. We've got ton of probes mining here. Eventually we're going to come out and take this base. We are also taking a base over here, and this is so strong. All you need to do as a Protoss player in order to take a base, put a cannon here. That's it. 1 cannon. You can't even run vultures up here, so getting up this ramp is nearly impossible. If there's any marines or anything, they just get minced. And then put a few cannons back over here in case there's a drop, and you should be good to go, as long as you've got some reavers and shuttles flying around. If there's a drop over here, you just bring the reavers over and clear that up. Reavers and shuttles are 10 times better than anything Terran can drop out of their dropships, so you should just be able to easily clear that. And you've got another base here pretty much for free. You just throw down a couple of cannons and there you go, got it. So I haven't noticed this base yet. I'm just focusing on my build, just getting some carriers out here, and we're gonna see the power of these carriers here very shortly. Okay, here we are. We've got some carriers out now. I've taken this base, haven't quite saturated it yet. There's a little attack here, and Love Snowies have been forced to build all of his factories here in the middle of the map. You can't see no factories here in the main base because you can't go down this ramp. This ramp is blocking everything. You have to build your factories out here. And this is what I think the main problem is with this map in Protoss versus Terran, is that you can't go into your own main with your mech units. You build everything out here in order to move around the map and attack things, then you can't get back up here. What are you supposed to do? With those units, it's like you can't defend, and if you come over here you can attack this base, but you can't go up here, and you can't go up here. You have to use dropships, and it's just going to be a pain in the ass. There's really not much he can do at this point. Love Snow, he's going to go ahead and attack this base. I'm probably going to lose a ton of probes over here, but hey man, look at this. 5 Stargate carrier. 5 Stargate carrier. I'm still not mining this gas, by the way, so I could be producing a ton more carriers at this point. But I'm bad. It is what it is, boys. I'm gonna come over here and save this base. Quite a few probes are gonna be lost, but that's the way she goes. Can also drop over here and easily take this back base here. I could also drop over here with a probe and quickly take this base. Just throw up some cannons here. I think I did attempt that. It might have been stopped by some wraiths earlier, but these bases back in these areas, they have to be attacked by dropships. Even this base has to be attacked by dropships, and carriers can kill anything as it's popping out of dropships. There's no amount of units. There's no real strategy that can be used by Terran. You're gonna have to bring like 10 dropships worth of Goliaths in order to fight a you know, a 6-7 carrier group, and that's just so cost inefficient. That's an insane amount of investment in order to build up that dropship number, and it's just basically dead weight. It's dead supply. It's not doing anything except for moving units around for you. You'd much rather have that in tanks and Goliaths, and you're kind of going to be forced into that as Terran here. Now Terran, yeah, he can hit some of these things, but look, he just can't get up here. I'm sitting here with 3, I don't have many probes, but I'm sitting here with 3 cannons, and there's really not much you can do. Bunch of SCVs went down over here from a Reaver drop. Reaver drop so strong on this map again, just preventing these back bases from being taken. Having these rates has really helped him out a lot, but with my carrier army, got a ton of observers, and we've got Reavers here in the front as well, just defending things up. And he can keep the Reaver with the carrier army as well. If I come down here with carriers, this base is 100% dead. It's going to be gone. It looks like he's dropping some SCVs here. It's going to take this back base, but that's super tough to hold in this situation with carriers out on the map. It's just there's nowhere for this to go. There's nothing for this army to do. We've got the Goliaths here, but going around the map, I can go all the way around this map. The only place that Goliaths can attack me without being lifted by dropships is this area right here. If I go past here, if he's got a ton of Goliaths sitting right here, I can't go past there. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go all the way around the map. You can go all the way down here into the main base, kill everything. There's nothing he can do about it. Okay, perfect example here. We've got some dropships came up and landed a bunch of Goliaths here in the top. I'm gonna lose a couple of carriers because I'm lazy, not really microing here, but it doesn't really matter. Eventually we'll clean up these Goliaths, and that's that. Can't attack this base, you really can't. So it's basically a free base for the Protoss player who's going ahead and going for carriers. Gonna take this base as well. Again, can't attack this. I've got cannons here. I'm gonna put some Reavers here as well. Carriers are always present, and there's just nothing you can do. It's a little bit frustrating to even see it. I'm a little bit mad, honestly, that this is even a map in the ASL map pool that Terran players are going to have to suffer through. So you can see I come down here to the bottom left-hand corner, kill this command center. Goliaths cannot respond. They're stuck down here. Again, they can only stop things that are going through here. He actually picks off a shuttle. That's nice, but not able to save the space. He can't take the space either to kill that as well. And eventually fly through here and up onto this high ground. And once I'm in the main base with my carriers, again, Goliaths can't get up here. Goliaths can't do anything. They're just going to sit there impotently, and the carriers will eventually win this game. All right, there you can see running over here towards this back base. I think I lost one carrier going through here, but I managed to make it through, and now this base is dead. And Love Snow, this is actually a pretty close game. I was messing around a bit. Not really playing the best Protoss game. I'm not a Protoss player, so things were not flowing very nicely, but he's gonna go ahead and drop over here, try to kill this base. I think he does almost kill this, but I've got another base over here, building another base down here. I've got plenty of money, 71 probes. Things are looking very nice, and I'm actually not even moving this. I could easily come up here and just kill the main base, which I think I'm gonna do here in a moment, but I'm focused on maybe saving this one over here. I'm not 100% sure on that, but yeah, we're gonna bring some Reavers over to this area. And Reavers, they just do mad work on Goliaths, of course. Nice splits there. More drops are gonna come up as well, so eventually it looks like he might clean this up. Pretty good, not too bad, but there goes the main base. Despite, I think, Love Snow being probably 10 times better than my Protoss, there's really nothing he can do to win this game. It's just so brokenly imbalanced here, this situation, this This matchup on this map is so bad. Here we go. The main base going to be killed. And again, completely impotent, not able to stop it whatsoever. All the supply depots are going to be lost. All the armories and tech buildings are going to be lost as well. And he's just going to be left with a ton of factories out here on the map. And really no bases to speak of except for this one. Even though he's got 162 supply, none of that supply can be brought to bear. He's going to try to land a ton of Goliaths up here. Unfortunately, if he had attacked a little bit earlier, yeah, comically Protoss favorite. I've got more cannons and of course 2 Reavers as well. Reaver's going to be super useful in defending. Of course, he does focus those down right away, but eventually I think this is held off. I actually can't remember. This game gets really close in the end, so we're gonna watch it out this one and just show you how crazy this one gets near to the conclusion. We've got another base over here. Of course, we're mining in this location, but this is all gonna be picked off. And Love Snow gonna try and get some more bases here. He's actually gonna start to lose factories now because this is all empty ground. You can't actually get any shots off with the Goliaths here, so the factories are going to start going down. Of course, he's got no supply depots to actually use in order to do anything about that, to actually build anything. But he's going to try some dropping play over here. He actually cancels this base as well, so this is getting a little bit scary now. Of course, his final base is is right here, and he is gonna lose this. But also trading out for 1 Nexus, so not the worst. Let's see what else he can get done here. I think he's gonna lose these 2 science vessels. Where are the drop ships right now? Okay, drops are going up to the top here, and cannons are just finishing up, so maybe I can keep this base. That's 5 drop ships there. Oh, gonna lose 1. Oh, loses 2 drops. Oh, that's painful. Those 2 drop ships would have been really helpful. That's 8 more Goliaths to try and kill this base with. Gonna drop the Goliaths off here. They are, of course, 3-1 Goliaths, so they're doing a lot of damage. The cannons, they also deal a lot of damage very quickly, but they also die very quickly. Now, these are trapped. And the drop ships coming back, look at that. Drops are probably going to get picked off. Whoa, what's going on there? Not sure. But not actually targeting those down. That's unfortunate. Staying at sea with only 9 minerals. Becoming a very close game indeed. Even though we've only got 73 supply and 166. Yeah, we've got a ton of carriers. Not actually any minerals to build the interceptors. How many of these have interceptors? This has got no interceptors. That's got no interceptors. That one's got no interceptors. None of these have interceptors except for this one. Yeah, maybe one of these. That's got none. Oh my goodness. No interceptors to speak of. Any probes? We've got 22 probes, so we can pick those up. But this game got incredibly close. Despite being so Protoss favored here, I think that Love Snow did a great job, but this is I think a foregone conclusion. Just look at how many carriers were able to be built here, and there's really not much of a case for Terran on this map being able to basically do anything of value. Take bases, attack bases, there's really not much they can do at all. And they're finally going to bring some probes over here, of course, get that mining going. Looks like another base has been erected here in the back, but again, super supply depot blocked, so not gonna be able to build anything at this moment. And I've got some Reavers and some cannons now at this. Oh, cannons, no cannons at this base, but 3 Reavers is pretty darn strong. Bunch of carriers hanging over this area as well, and eventually can move these carriers around the side and just go ahead and kill this base. All right, so in the end, carriers do come around this side and this base will be killed. Unfortunately, it wasn't in the right spot, but I don't think it would have mattered to pick those off from the high ground and eventually get down here into this base, just focus down the command center. I think he goes for 1 final drop, but There are just so many carriers now at this location, plus all the reavers. What is this now? 5 reavers in this location? 5 reavers versus, what is this? 8, 12 Goliaths. Not the best exchange here. It's pretty tough to take a good trade against carriers and reavers, man. And GG is called. This is an incredibly broken map for Protoss against Terran. I don't know how any pro players are going to be able to take down a Protoss on this map. It seems so terrible for the Terran race. Maybe the map makers have been watching KCM as of late, just thinking a little bit too much Terran victory here, and they're gonna go ahead and release this map to kind of right the wrongs of the past. I don't know what they're thinking, but this matchup is completely broken. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about the Protoss versus Zerg matchup. I think this one is going to be the most dynamic and interesting matchup we're gonna have on 76. This map has a lot to offer in ways of mixing up this matchup. It's gonna be very interesting because of this ramp you've got here. Only Hydras and Lings can go up and down that. Of course, Zealots, Templar, and Dark Templar can go up and down that, but Dragoons can't, Lurkers can't either. I think because you also have this back natural, going for a Forge fast expand on the high ground here is going to be very strong. Trying to run Lings up here or trying to do some sort of Hydra bust through this area, nearly impossible. So having about 3, maybe 4 cannons if you see a Hydralisk bust coming, it's going to be super duper hard to get up here and actually break this spot. So Hydra bust not going to be much of a thing, I think, here. And for the most part, in my opinion, I think it's going to be Protoss controlling the air here, just because you can't put your gateways here. I think or putting your gateways here will allow you to pump Zealots, but you're never going to be able to produce mass Dragoon from that. So you're going to be stuck on Zealot for a long time, and possibly for the entire game, unless you eventually do throw gateways down here. And even if you do, then you won't be able to attack any of the other main bases because of this ramp. So I just don't think that's going to be a viable way to play. Most of what we're going to see here is going to be taking this back natural, grabbing these double gas, and then you can easily, with 3 gas, take 2 Stargates and then a couple of robotics facilities as well. 1 or 2 robotics facilities is going to be fine. That way you'll be able to take control of the air as Protoss and eventually start to take the other bases like this on the map, grab the other islands, and just bank up that gas and go for Corsair Reaver. Yes, I think Corsair Reaver is going to be the predominant way we see Protoss play on this map. Of course, you can still go out and attack with Zealot and Templar, so we're going to probably see some Zealot Templar timings as well, but I just think controlling the air here is going to be so strong, and there's not a whole lot that Zerg can do about it. So as you can see here, with 4 or 5 cannons on the high ground, it's going to be next to impossible to break this tiny ramp with even an insane number of Hydras. It would take crazy number of Hydras to break this, especially if you have a couple of Zealots walking here on the high ground, just kind of messing up the AI in that. So there's really no reason to go early Templar here. You can just go to Stargate, build a whole ton of Corsairs, and then start pumping out Reavers and immediately take this base. That's going to give you a whole bunch more income, and there's no real way for them to attack it unless they seize air dominance from you. Of course, there is always the possibility of drops, but that's going to be up to the player to fend those off. Then once you do have Reavers, well, as you can see, I'm playing against a computer player here, just for the purposes of this video. putting your Reaver here at this entrance location, of course, Hydras can run back up inside, but it's going to be so hard for them to run up this ramp against a bunch of Reavers on this high ground. You could even get disruption web as well, and just throw a disruption web on the bottom of this ramp or on anything that's trying to attack from this side, and then clear out this main base. So that's why I think that this strategy would be very, very strong in this map. Now, on the Zerg side of things, it is a possibility to try and fight the Protoss with your early 3 gases and try to win in the skies, take over air domination, and win out that way. But I think more likely what we're going to see is Zergs just focus on getting out their early hatches, getting into a big ground army, controlling the middle of the map, and defending these Reaver attacks, eventually getting into drops and such. But late game, it will be a little bit hard. Just like versus Terran, you can't really use lurkers here to attack, and you'll never be able to use Ultralisk either, because Ultralisk can only attack in the middle of the map. Maybe you can drop them, but that seems pretty cumbersome to any strategies. So one thing I did think about for this matchup specifically is probably the middle bases are going to be better for Zerg in this case. The minerals last longer, and the gas here lasts longer as well. There's also less space here to drop Reavers. Some of the other bases is a little bit easier to drop them, so taking this base might be better along with this natural, and then, you know, putting some buildings in the front here, just making it so that zealots can't easily attack you, and then going up into a very strong economy there for the mid game. This map is super weird, as I've been explaining, but it's going to be sort of a hybrid island map. In different matchups, it's going to be more of an island map than in others. I think in this matchup, it's going to play out a lot like an island map, just because you can't really bust your opponent here by ground as Zerg, and there's plenty of places for Protoss to fly around and take. So I think this is going to play out more or less like an island map in that regard, but we'll just have to see. We'll have to see what the pro players pull out here, where they end up going with this very innovative map. I think Terran players are going to hate it. If I'm being completely honest, I think they are going to absolutely despise this map and probably veto it at every chance they get, especially versus Protoss, but maybe even against Zerg as well. As you could just get 3 gases here so damn easy, and the back natural is incredibly hard to defend. You're not going to be able to keep that alive against a lot of strong Mutalisk micro players like Soma. This really is going to play into his hands very nicely. So that's what I have to say about 76. This has already been a very long video, so I'm going to save the other maps in this map pool for another time, I think. If you guys want to see me actually go through the entire map pool, go ahead and leave a like on this video. If we get 200 likes, I'll do the rest of the ASL map pool. Otherwise, I'll probably just leave it up to the other guys. They've done a pretty good job of describing those maps. This map, though, I think needed an extra special touch. This is a real special map, special in air quotes, boys. This is a very strange one, and I think it's going to bring us some really interesting games in ASL and KCM. I can't wait to see those matches, guys. Let me know in the comments below if you think my predictions are correct, what you think about this map. Is it going to be an interesting one, or will it just be an absolute shit show? I think either one is equally likely. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Sanasi out.